to see some serious shit.
So, Prometheus. Oh, I wish I had good news for everyone.
Hug.
I will say, first of all, that this will be a spoiler-light review. I am not going to assume that you've seen all the TV spots, which have blown a great deal of the major imagery and surprises in the film. I want you to have the chance to be surprised by it, because, regardless of what has been shown, the film still has a few genuine shocks that they haven't revealed. But I also want you to be prepared, because I'm going to be saying things here that you probably won't believe, because it's not possible that this film misses the mark. But it does, guys. I've seen some early reviews and reviewers taking shit for daring to say that Prometheus isn't that good. But they're right. For the love of God, do not go into this assuming that you're about to see the next science fiction masterpiece, or the next Avatar, or even a great follow-up to the first two Alien movies, because you're not gonna get it. And in fact, I even remember Jamie and I talking off air about next week's show when everyone's seen it, and we're gonna have the roundtable discussion where we're gonna have to take up the whole podcast just to talk about the amount of depth and philosophy and great story and character moments that are in Prometheus. The biggest shock about this film is there really isn't that much to say about it at all. It has a pretty simple story that isn't particularly compelling as told. It has one well-written character, zero well-written dialogue. It looks stunning, and there are a few really effective sequences here and there. But overall, the film is nowhere near as complex or smart or deep as it thinks it is. The drive of the characters is that they believe that the human race was created by another race of beings called engineers, thus eliminating for all time all theories of creationism or Darwinism. That's great. That's a great dramatic point to start on. The film does nothing with it. These two archaeologists, played by Noomi Rapace and Logan Marshall Green, who does bear a striking resemblance to Tom Hardy, they're clearly very driven people who will do anything to prove their theory right. They get to this planet LV-223, and they find the existence of the civilization they were looking for. They were right. Then they find the corpse of an engineer. They find one corpse, and they give up. I'm not joking. They find one dead body, and Green's character in particular, Charlie, starts getting all moody and pissy and drunk and says, we've wasted our time coming here, and I wanted to talk to an engineer face to face and find all the answers and all that stuff. And I'm screaming at the screen, you found one body in a cave! You've only been on this planet for half a day, and you've already assumed you've found all that you're going to find. You've spent 2 years in cryo-suspension, and the Wayland Corporation has spent billions of dollars to get you there, and you're giving up? I couldn't get over it. It felt so wrong, so badly written. The whole film is so badly written, because essentially what Prometheus basically is a film where scientists go into dark caves and shine torches on ornate cave paintings and prod around with buttons on ancient alien technology. That's the stuff propelling the film forward, not the dialogue. As such, the dialogue used in all of these exploration sequences, of which there are many, is complete filler. It's the kind of cliche crap you've heard 1,000 times. Should we give this a go? Oh my god.
This isn't happening.
What the hell is that?
You gotta be kidding me.
Are you seeing this?
That's what I'm talking about!
What are you doing?
Huh? Come on.
We are going in.
Here we go.
Do you copy?
Now this I can do.
This isn't good.
We gotta work together! It's the only way!
It's, maybe you have others you can throw at me right now, I don't know, but it's basically all of Garrett Hedlund's lines in Tron Legacy. Albeit delivered by more competent actors, but you get the idea.
We weren't meant to mess with this.
They do that too, yes, that's one.
Damn, I wish I was human. I don't understand these emotions.
No, they don't do that.
That's good, actually. That's okay. Good. All right.
No, it's not good, actually, but I'll get to that in a second. So, don't buy into the idea that Prometheus is some blazingly original take on the Alien franchise that's 1,000 miles away from anything you've seen before. The film is a haunted house movie in space, much like the original Alien and its many imitators, about a bunch of characters exploring something they shouldn't and getting bumped off one by one. And that would be fine if we cared about them. But we don't. There are, I believe, 17 crew members aboard the Prometheus, and this is one of those films where you can't tell most of them apart. You're not introduced to a lot of them, and you'll be watching a scene on the ship, and all of a sudden a character will appear out of nowhere, as if we're readily acquainted with him, and yet I swear we've never seen them before. And the ones that we do get to spend a little time with have no personalities, no names that you could remember, and you just don't care about them when, spoiler alert, they die. Watching Prometheus makes you appreciate even more what Cameron was able to do with Aliens. He had a good 15 characters or so in Aliens, and of course, not all of them had personalities. Some of them were meat, but we recognised all of them. We got to see all of them, so you could at least keep score when they were dropping left and right. And even if the characters in Prometheus are just meat, the death scenes aren't all that great either. There are one or two good ones. I can't spoil them though, we'll have to wait till next week. But most of the deaths honestly just consist of people being picked up and thrown across a room. Seriously, it's not even clear that some of them have died. And the only character that you will care about, ironically, is the one that isn't human. Maybe that's what Scott was going for, I don't know. To be honest, I can't even say that Michael Fassbender's android David is a superb character that steals the show. I can't say that. First of all, there's no show to steal. Secondly, his character falls to the same wasted potential that befalls the rest of the film. It's just that at least he does get some setup, some significant screen time that's focused on him, enough to make an impression, and he's got a great look and a great voice. We knew that from the viral marketing. The film starts pretty much with David on the Prometheus in a scene I think Cameron was considering doing to introduce Bishop in Aliens.
Really?
Yeah.
I know what shot you're talking about, because he talked about that. They didn't shoot it, I don't think, but really? Okay.
Yeah, the ship is still on its 2-year-long flight to the planet. All the crew are in stasis, except for David, who's walking around the ship, and we get to see his daily routine for 5 minutes. He's making sure the stasis pods are in check, he's making sure the ship's on course, he plays basketball while riding a bike, he watches old movies, and after a viewing of Lawrence of Arabia, he decides to fashion his hair, and it's implied his voice, after Peter O'Toole. And
that's clever. Actually, that's kind of cool. I gotta give him that.
Cool. I do like that a lot. Most interestingly, though, he's able to watch the dreams of the crew members. When you're in stasis, obviously the brain is still active, and so the crew are dreaming as if they were in normal sleep. And for some reason, lazy though it is, when David accesses the control panel for Noomi Rapace's capsule, he can watch her dreams as well, which is obviously part of his self-education on the human condition. Now, that stuff's great. I've always loved the idea of telling a story like this from the perspective of a machine, or something for whom human emotion and the human condition is not relatable. You know, it's just a teaching course. And the storytelling device of seeing humanity through that pair of eyes, allowing us to hold a mirror to ourselves by something that isn't part of our species. But again, nothing's done with it in Prometheus. David's arc is simply that he has a secret and an agenda that is top secret and kept from the rest of the crew, even Charlize Theron's company rep. It is one secret that luckily hasn't been blown in the TV spots, but it isn't a particularly jaw-dropping one either. I won't spoil it. I'll just say that a character shows up that you weren't expecting, but you won't care. And actually it hurts the film because it just takes it down a rather silly road in the third act. And I know all I'm doing right now is highlighting the negatives, but there are some really good effective scenes here and there. I just can't talk about them until you've had a chance to see it. There is one scene with Noomi Rapace's character, which is the one you'll all be talking about in the lobby afterwards. You'll know it when you see it. It is superbly chilling and disturbing, because the big teasing image in the trailers has been Noomi in her underwear in that bathroom trembling, and this sequence tells you why she's ended up that way. And the best thing is, for one 10-minute stretch, we actually care about our lead character. And it's not because she's earned it, per se. It's just because she's in a situation that we can all empathise with. And when you see it, you won't understand how the hell this film was ever going to get a PG-13. The final thing I'll say before I open it up for questions is that I did enjoy the last 10-minute stretch of the film. Be under no illusion, this is a prequel to Alien. This explains what the space jockey really is, who the big dildo spaceship really belongs to, and the genesis of the alien species. And the last 10 minutes is about showing that hand and answering those questions. If you do that wrong, you're actually hurting the original film, and fans have to try and blank it out and prefer it never happened. Well, I think Prometheus does function well as a prequel to Alien. I think it answered those key questions fairly well, and I was happy with the explanation of where the aliens came from. It isn't a mind-blowing explanation, but I don't think it takes anything away from the first film. In fact, I think it probably does enhance it. You could watch Alien 1 right after Prometheus, and I think it would slot together rather nicely. But I wanted to come on here tonight having fallen hard for Prometheus, feeling so lucky and privileged to have seen it a week before you guys. I was going to talk about how it would be worth that extra wait for you. I wanted to spew passionately for 40 minutes about the characters and the story and the themes, but they're not there. There's nothing to get your teeth into. It's a thoroughly mediocre film, and when the time comes for repeat viewing on this thing, if you see it a second time at all you'll be doing is skipping to the good bits on your Blu-ray player, of which, regrettably, there are few. I hope you enjoy it more than I did, but you have been warned.